Hey, it's August 28th, 2020, and a couple weeks ago I talked to you about finding your purpose. Last week I talked about finding your calling, and this week is about finding your tribe. Now you know that I went to Kenya. I've talked about that some, and when I went there, I didn't know what I was doing other than I was following my inspiration, and I met with Pastor Christopher. He picked me up, and we began to go around and do the different things that he does. And we did the things that I was interested in, finding out about farming, talking to the farmers, and just trying to see where we could fit in. And so while I was there, we were building a trust-based relationship. Now there's other kinds of relationships. There's fear-based relationships. And one of them, in the trust-based relationship, you begin to trust each other because they're dependable, they're honest, they add value. In the fear-based relationship, it's more about taking care of yourself, and it's more about, I will cause you to fear so you don't hurt me, and it's more about destruction, and it's more of a tribe of getting out of life what's best for me. And so as we were working together, talking together, I started asking him about his life story, and he said, I was a drunkard. I ended up in prison, and he said, I honestly thought that anybody who believed in God, there was something wrong in their head. But he said, when I was at the bottom, and there was nowhere to go to, and he said, someone came in and preached about Jesus, and he said, I thought, what do I have to lose? And so he said, I began to believe, and I connected, and then he got out of prison, and he began to really make something of his life. And so he started doing the anti-jigger thing, where the little children have parasites in their feet, and he developed a treatment to take care of that, and started doing slum ministry, and of course, going back to prison to help other people connect so that they could have a better life. And so Pastor Christopher has learned how to drive. He's a very good driver. He travels all over the country. He's connected with so many people. He just knows so many people. And he's well respected, and he's just a really great person to be connected with. But the law of attraction says we connect with the people that we are like, that we relate to. And so had I been there looking for a way to make more money, scheming on how to become rich, I would have connected with those kinds of people. And very likely my story would have been totally different. So the person that you are becoming is the person that you will attract. The other person that I want to talk about, just two of them today, people who have added so much value to my life. And the other one is Eunice. And I remember distinctly, this was a divine connection also. Pastor Christopher said, we're going out to such and such a farm. And he said, we have to stop and pick up Eunice because she may be the one that gives us a tour. And so I said, well, who's Eunice? And he said, well, there she is on the street. And I remember thinking, wow, because I'd already noticed this lady. And so she got in the vehicle, we began to visit, and I found out through the course of time that she had been in a very abusive relationship. Her husband was a drunkard, and she had been put to the bottom of the barrel. She had no food, she had no money, she has 3 daughters, and no way to support them. And so she cried out to God, please help me. And he began to lead her, and she started developing her own businesses. She supplies schools, she supplies the county government with things that they need. And the reason they keep using her is because why? She adds value. They can depend on her. They can trust her. And so now Pastor Christopher has become the senior pastor for IACT, International Action Charity Team. Eunice has become the general manager. And so she manages the chicken business. She manages the haying business. Now recently she's been asked to supply the government with some supplies. She's managing that. There's a silage business that she's working at, and plus all of her own little businesses. And so she's putting her girls through school. She's moved to a better house. She's moved out of the slums. Pastor Christopher has advanced so many ways and moved away from the people who have the attitude of it's all about me, what can I get out of it, moved together with the people who are adding value to other people. And I want to tell you a little bit about my own adding value journey. So there was a day there when I had a moment of anxiety, and I asked God, I said, how am I going to stay safe? He said, add value. I said, add value. He said, yes, if you add value, you will become valuable. If you become valuable, people will take care of you. I call that my awareness moment. So I became aware that I needed to add value. Well, you know, I've always been a person who liked to assist other people, try to help people, do the best I could, but now this is something new and special. I'm supposed to add value to the people of Kenya. And so I began to change my mindset. I began to think about, how do I add value? Who do I add value to? So then everywhere you go, you know, you say a friendly word, you give a bit of encouragement, whatever it is, and you begin to change your mindset. And when you change your mindset, guess what happens? You begin to practice adding value. And when you practice adding value, guess what happens? It unites you with people. So we're going to put unite. When you become aware, when you change your mindset, and when you begin to practice, you might unite with people and your purpose. So I call this my adding value tribe. And when you begin to be affiliated with an adding value tribe, you begin to have inspiration. You'll find that I have a great idea and you have a great idea, and now we really have a great idea, and we can move together in this idea because I trust that you're going to do what you say you'll do, and you trust that I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do, and together we work together to add value. And so you can automatically tell those people who haven't recognized that purpose in life yet. They feel distressed, they feel like they're not vindicated or validated as a human, and they're not being recognized, and so they want to do something to make a name for themselves. Well, what's the thing that you can do the quickest? Well, you can tear something down. And so, you know, it's a slow, tedious process to build something up. Sometimes you make a mistake and you have to make a correction, and you have to tear down a little bit to make the correction. Now that's one thing. But when you go somewhere and you tear down something that someone else has worked hard for, that's a whole different thing. That's not an adding value tribe. We can see in the world today that these two groups are separating. There's the people who have strong values, they have strong work ethics, they have strong community, and they're trying to help each other to have a better way of life. And then there's the people over here that say that they want all this, but their actions are completely different. And so today, as we think about becoming aware of adding value, changing our mindset, changing our practice, beginning to practice adding value, and how it unites us with people and purpose, this says amp up. So if you want to amp up your adding value attitude, connect with a tribe who has an adding value attitude. I hope this is an encouragement to you to just keep on keeping on, doing the right thing. Even when we don't feel like it, when we maybe are down in our spirit, or we're not feeling 100%, we can still have a smile, we can still do the right thing, we can still hold the door for someone, we can still be cheerful, we can still be respectful of other people, we can still be considerate, and we can find our adding value trying. Have a good weekend.